This is me, Kyle Phelan, with Infowars.com, here with some breaking news. If you look at Reuters right now, they have an exclusive report from an intelligence source in Yemen. Turns out one of the brothers involved in the Charlie Hebdo shooting had actually in 2011 met with Anwar al-Awlaki. And of course, as many of you know, Anwar al-Awlaki met with high-ranking military officials at the Pentagon only months after 9/11. And of course, later in 2002, it was later learned that the FBI actually had him in custody due to his ties to Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. And it turns out that he was in custody and let go. So now if we fast forward again, we have Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer on the show in 2012. He exposed the fact that he was clearly working for the FBI. He was a triple agent also involved with the CIA. And so what makes it even more obvious is the fact that if you remember the Christmas Day bombing in 2009, or the attempted bombing by Umar Farouk Abdul-Muttalib, the so-called underwear bomber, that turned out to clearly be a government-run operation. And we know that Anwar al-Awlaki was running this guy. Kirk Haskell famously came on our show. He was on the flight. He saw what was going on. And later the State Department, Under Secretary of State Patrick Kennedy, came on and said, yes, we tried to flag the underwear bomber. We didn't want him on the flight, but a, quote, unknown government agency demanded that he get on the flight. So clearly the government was running this. So what this shows is that clearly he was meeting with someone with high connections to the United States government. Now, I've talked to Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer, and he believes that Anwar al-Awlaki ended up triple-crossing the federal government, and that's why they took him out with a drone strike, as many of you know, in 2011 as well. So does this mean that the shooters are connected to an intelligence agency? Does this mean that there's government involved with this? We don't know, but this is definitely a major point that needs to be shown, that clearly he had ties to someone who had ties to the FBI, the CIA, and really the whole intelligence officials. So if you want to keep following us for more breaking news on this, head to Infowars.com.
I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com with an update on the Charlie Hebdo attacks. The Charlie Hebdo massacre suspects were on the U.S. no-fly list for years, and that they trained with Al-Qaeda in Yemen. It says the two suspects behind the Charlie Hebdo massacre in Paris have been on a U.S. no-fly list for years, a U.S. official said. According to different revelations, one of the suspects trained with Al-Qaeda-linked militants in Yemen. Sharif and Saeed, French-born sons of Algerian parents, were both logged in the U.S. government's Terrorist Identities Data Mart Environment System, which is called TIDE, a database on known or suspected international terrorists. U.S. counterterrorism sources said on condition of anonymity. So stay tuned for more reports. I'll keep you updated throughout the day. I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com.